Welcome to the world of rotation. Have you ever watched a spinning top? Or a planet twirling majestically in the vastness of space? Maybe you've seen a graceful dancer performing a breathtaking pirouette, spinning like a human whirlwind? Spinning things are absolutely everywhere you look, in every corner of our universe. And they are super cool to watch, aren't they? It really makes you stop and ponder. It makes you wonder, how does all that incredible spinning actually work its magic? Well, guess what, folks? Science, our trusty guide to understanding the cosmos, has an answer. It's a big, brilliant, and totally fascinating story. So let's dive headfirst into the amazing, whirling, twirling world of things that go round and round. It's all about something called rotational mechanics, and believe me, it's awesome. Now you might be thinking, rotational mechanics? Bill, that sounds a bit complicated, a little bit intimidating. But don't you worry your curious minds about that for 1 second. It's actually just the super cool science of how things spin, rotate, or revolve. Think about a bicycle wheel turning as you pedal down the street. Or consider our very own planet Earth, faithfully spinning on its axis as it makes its grand journey around the sun. Rotational mechanics is the branch of physics that helps us understand precisely why these objects move in these circular ways. It's all about the forces, the energy, and the motions involved when objects decide to twirl, whirl, and spin. It's the science of spin. Imagine you're at the local park, and you hop onto a speedy merry-go-round. Whee! As it spins you around, faster and faster. That's rotational motion in action, and it's a blast. Or picture a skilled ballerina, poised and elegant, executing a perfect pirouette, spinning with incredible grace and control on the very tips of her toes. Even the powerful blades of a helicopter, slicing through the air to lift it off the ground, are a fantastic, real-world example of rotational mechanics at work. This isn't just some stuffy concept confined to dusty old textbooks. It's happening all around us, all the time, making things work, making things fun, and making life more interesting. It's a truly fundamental part of how our entire universe operates, from the tiniest spinning subatomic particles to the colossal swirling galaxies. So why should we, as budding scientists and curious explorers, care about things that spin? That's a great question. Well, understanding the principles of rotation helps us design and build all sorts of amazing machines that improve our lives. It helps us understand the physics behind sports, like how a basketball player puts spin on the ball for a perfect swish. It even helps us comprehend the grand mechanics of our own magnificent planet and the solar system it belongs to. Learning about rotational mechanics can be a real adventure, a journey into the heart of motion. So get ready, buckle up, and prepare to explore the fascinating twists and turns of this awesome branch of physics with us. It's going to be a wild spinning ride. All right, science enthusiasts, let's get down to the basics, the real building blocks of understanding rotation. First up on our list is a super important concept, the axis of rotation. Imagine an invisible line, straight as an arrow, running right through the center of any object that's spinning. That invisible line, my friends, is the axis. Think about a spinning globe that you might have in your classroom or library. The rod that it spins around so smoothly, that rod represents its axis of rotation. Every single spinning thing, from a tiny buzzing toy top to our huge beautiful planet Earth, has an axis. It's the straight central line around which all the exciting spinning action happens, the pivot point of the whole shebang. Now, how do we get something to start spinning in the first place? Or if it's already spinning, how do we make it spin faster, slower, or even stop it altogether? For that, we need something called torque. Torque is a very special kind of force. It's a twisting force. That's right, a twist. Think about opening a door. You usually push or pull the handle, don't you? That handle is located at some distance from the hinges, which act as the door's axis of rotation. That push or pull you apply, acting at that specific distance from the hinges, creates the torque. And voila, the door swings open, rotating smoothly around its hinges. No torque, no rotation. It's the oomph behind the spin. Let's consider another everyday example of torque to really nail this down. Imagine you're trying to loosen a very tight bolt with a wrench. We've all been there, right? If you use a short wrench, you might find it's incredibly tough to get that bolt to budge. You huff and you puff, but it barely moves. But if you switch to a wrench with a nice long handle, suddenly it becomes much easier. That's because the longer handle allows you to apply the same amount of pushing or pulling force at a greater distance from the bolt, which is our axis of rotation here. This increased distance for the same force creates more torque, making that stubborn bolt turn much more readily. That's physics making your life easier. So, to recap these crucial ideas, the axis is the imaginary line that an object spins around. And torque is the specific twisting force that causes an object to start spinning, stop spinning, or change its spin. These are super important fundamental ideas in the world of rotational mechanics. Understanding them helps us unravel so many mysteries, like why a figure skater pulls their arms in close to their body to spin astonishingly faster. We'll definitely get to that fascinating bit. Or why it's so much easier to pedal a bicycle in a lower gear when you're trying to conquer a steep uphill climb. It's all about these fundamental concepts working together harmoniously in the world all around us, every single day. Now that we've figured out how things get their spin on thanks to torque, let's talk about how fast they can actually spin. This is where a cool term called angular velocity comes into play. It might sound a bit fancy, a little scientific, but it's really just a precise way to measure how quickly an object rotates or revolves around its central axis. Think about the hands on an analog clock hanging on your wall. The skinny second hand has a much higher angular velocity than the thicker minute hand, or the even slower hour hand, right? It sweeps around the entire clock face much faster, covering a larger angle in the same amount of time. It's all about the rate of rotation. Imagine you're listening to some groovy tunes on an old-school vinyl record player. Awesome! Some of those big, black circular records spin at a rate of 33 revolutions per minute, often written as 33 RPM. Other smaller records, singles, might spin even faster, perhaps at 45 RPM. That RPM value is telling us its angular velocity. A higher RPM means it's spinning faster, completing more full rotations in a single minute. So, angular velocity essentially tells us the rate of spin, the speed of its turning motion. It's a bit like linear speed, how fast you run in a straight line, but specifically for things that are going around in circles. It's not just how fast it's moving, but how fast it's turning. Let's take a look at a classic toy, the spinning top. When you first give it a good strong launch, it might spin really fast, a blur of color. At that moment, it has a very high angular velocity. However, as time goes on, friction from the air rushing past it, and friction from the surface it's spinning on start to act upon it. These forces gradually cause it to slow down. Its angular velocity steadily decreases. This change in angular velocity over time is what physicists call angular acceleration, or in this specific case, since it's slowing down, angular deceleration. It's all about those important changes in the speed of that mesmerizing spin. So, you can see that angular velocity is a truly key concept for describing any kind of rotational motion accurately. It helps engineers when they are designing all sorts of engines, from the powerful engines in our cars to the incredibly complex jet engines that propel airplanes through the sky, making sure all the internal parts spin at the correct and safe speeds. It helps astronomers understand the rotation of distant planets, stars, and even entire galaxies, giving us clues about their formation and evolution. It even helps athletes, like a diver performing intricate twists and somersaults in midair, to precisely control their spin rate for a perfect, splashless entry into the water. Understanding spin speed is absolutely crucial in so many fields. You might be sitting there thinking, okay, Bill, this spinning stuff, the axis, the torque, the angular velocity, it's kind of neat, I guess. But how does it really truly affect my everyday life? Well, let me tell you, my curious friends, it's absolutely everywhere, in ways you might not even realize. Think about the wheels on your trusty bicycle, or the wheels on a car, a bus, or a train. Without the principles of rotational mechanics, those wheels simply wouldn't turn, and you wouldn't be going anywhere fast. The remarkable ability of wheels to rotate smoothly, efficiently, and reliably is all thanks to these fundamental physics principles. It's undeniably fundamental to almost all forms of transportation we use. What about something as simple as opening a jar of delicious pickles, or your favorite jam? That determined twist you give the lid to break the seal. That, my friends, is torque in action, applied by your hand. Or how about when you're using a screwdriver to put together some new furniture or fix a loose handle? Again, you're applying torque to make that screw rotate and do its job. Even these simple everyday tools and common household tasks rely heavily on the principles of rotational mechanics. And consider a ceiling fan, lazily spinning above you, keeping you cool and comfortable on a hot summer day. Its blades rotate, pushing air downwards, all thanks to an electric motor that was meticulously designed with these very spinning principles in mind. From the absolutely gigantic wind turbines you might see out in the countryside, their massive blades slowly rotating to generate clean electricity for our homes and cities, to the incredibly tiny, intricate gears whirring away almost silently inside your wristwatch. Keeping perfect time, rotational mechanics is constantly at play. It's in our kitchen appliances like blenders that spin ingredients into smoothies and mixers that whip up cake batter. It's even in the hard drives inside our computers and laptops, spinning at thousands of revolutions per minute to store and retrieve all our valuable digital data. Understanding these concepts allows us to build, to create, to innovate, making our lives easier, more efficient, and definitely more fun. So, you see, rotational mechanics isn't just some dusty, old, boring science topic that you only find in textbooks. Not at all. It's alive, it's dynamic, it's energetic, and it's spinning all around us, influencing nearly everything we do. I sincerely hope this little journey into the wonderful world of whirls, twirls, and rotations has been as exciting for you as it is for me. If you're hungry to keep learning more cool science stuff and explore the wonders of the universe, be sure to follow and subscribe to SukumarDas. Keep asking those brilliant questions. Keep exploring the world around you with wide-eyed wonder. And don't forget to share this spintastic knowledge with your friends and family. Science rules.